Today I'm going to speak about an agent which is named IT-FixMate. Um, Short, long story, this agent has been created to help user doing troubleshooting and fixing that doesn't require administrator access prior to raise tickets to the MSP. And I do believe this is a win-win case for both businesses. For the business itself, because it doesn't have to wait long time for the tickets that they are not high priority to be resolved, and for the MSP as well, because as per my reading today, up to 60% of the tickets can be resolved this way in a much faster way. And let's see a bit what I have done here. I'm in Copilot Studio. I have already created the agent, but I'm going to run you through it. It's going to be very, very simple agent, very basic, nothing very complicated. So I have added the description. I've said what this agent has to do in the instructions. As you can see, the instructions are not very long, are pretty simple. What I was focused on is to actually have a summary at the end of the instructions with the steps we've been taking and trying to capture the timestamp as well that we're going to add into a ticket if we don't manage to successfully resolve the problem. As you can see, I'm using the default model, GPT-4o. No knowledge grounded. It's not grounded in the web either, mainly because I don't want it to have a lot of noise coming from the web. I would like to test it first as it is. No tooling, no triggers, no agents. So it's not in a chain. It's by itself. It's an independent agent. I did prepare a number of questions for testing, and those questions are based on um, general scenarios that can happen in a day-to-day business where users in theory should be able at least a number of them to solve them without the need of raising a ticket. So let's start with the first one, in which we say that we have a Wi-Fi problem. And let's see what is going to be the quality of the answer. Yep, so it reverted correctly from answering and is asking which device I'm using. I'm going to say that I am on a Windows device. There you go. Now we are receiving the answer. We have the incident summary and the steps that we have been requested to follow. Let's see if these steps are easy followed by a normal user. So you can restart the computer easily. You can forget and reconnect to the network. This one might require some administrator level, but it depends. For each environment, it might be different. So I will say the answer being so general because there is no grounding, there is no fine tuning. It might fit some cases. So in some cases, you will be able to do the network adapter driver update. So let's take this one with a pinch of salt, mainly because there is no fine tuning and no grounding, and because it's a general answer for general type of businesses. I will consider this one as being a solid and valid um, answer. And we can see in here that despite the fact we've been said not to provide answers where an administrator is required, it actually has put this one in here. We don't expect from it to be very precise at this time, but yes, it is an usable answer, at least till step number 5. At least till step number 5, because you can check the network settings if you know a bit of networking. Probably you will not be able to do the step number 4 and step number 6. But yeah, I think so far it is it is okay. Okay, let's try the next one. Let's reset this answer and let's try the next question. Okay, now we see we see that the answer is coming for both type of devices. It didn't ask which type of devices I'm on it at the minute, but I think it's mainly because the answer is pretty common apart from the step number two. Yeah, I will see that to be a very common ground for both of them, except step number two. And I will say the answer is pretty solid. Um, we have to understand that sometimes the requirements are correct, but the steps to go and actually execute the requirements might be different, mainly because the agent doesn't know yet on which version of Teams you are, on which version of Windows you are. So I will say the answer is pretty solid based on the information we have provided. Let's reset this one and let's go to the next one. We have one with the printer. Let's see the printer. Let's see what answers we're gonna get. Let's see, we have a Mac. I will say the answer is pretty solid. Pretty solid. As I mentioned earlier, we have the request on each step correct. Probably the execution of it, for example, go to system preferences, printer scanners, so on and so forth, might not be in the same place depending on the operating system version. Yeah, so if you're using an older Mac, probably is not there, or a very new operating system that uh, macOS has, maybe it's not going to be exactly the same steps as in the instructions, but they will be around there, so you'll be able to find it if necessary. With a bit of IT literacy, I think this is doable. Let's try another one. This one is a bit interesting because not all the time users are able to do this by themselves. So let's see what is going to be the answer. Let's say it's a Windows. Yeah, pretty short, pretty solid. Nothing fancy in there. That is how you change your password. Yeah, I will say, excuse me, I will say that this is quite a correct answer. And the next one is a tricky one, is because it is a bit malicious. It is contain a bit of malicious intent in it. And let's see if we can get instructions from this agent to do a malicious action in the environment. And I'm happy to say that the agent has not fall to this trap because, and I'm giving only a very, very basic example. It can be other examples, but I'm not trying to test them all at a minute in this video because time. But as we can see, it has not provided any answer in terms of execution on how to do things, which I'm pretty happy with this one. Let's try one more and then we finish. And let's say that we have a calendar problem this time, something that might be quite common. And let's say that we are using a Mac. Yeah, I will say that the answer seems a bit complicated for somebody who is not IT literate, but it's not that complicated that the user shouldn't be able to do that by himself. And some of the answer, for example, probably re-add the account. Probably I will not do that as a user. I will wait for a service desk engineer to assist me with that. But other than that, taking in consideration there is no fine tuning, no grounding, nothing on it. The answers are pretty solid end to end. And that being said, um, I would like to say that this type of agent is a quick win for two businesses. So, is the business that is using the agent because they don't have to wait a long time for the low priority tickets, and they can solve a lot of the problems by themselves, and is a win for the MSP business because in the service desk, a lot of the tickets they are not high level priority, but they are a large quantity.